You're watching Vihaba News. This is our series of providing the latest updated news on the agricultural sector, not just in Vietnam but also in the world. Here are the headlines today. The global spice and seasoning market is showing positive signs thanks to increasing consumer demand. Before the effects of COVID-19 pandemic, this market is still forecasted to have a high growth rate of 4.7% compound annual growth rate in the period 2020 to 2025. India's total spice export scale landmark level of $4 billion. Along with that, Vietnam's agricultural and spice flavorings industry are also making impressive changes, making Vietnam an important source of spices and flavorings for the world market. Currently, Vietnam continues to hold its position as the largest paper exporter to Turkey. The global seasoning and spices market is projected to grow at compound annual growth rate of 4.7% in the period 2020 to 2025. The retail food products manufacturers have further increased the application of spices and seasonings so as to fit the taste and preference of the various ethnicities of the consumer across the globe, therefore driving the market forward. Impact of COVID-19 on the global seasoning and spices consumption market. The COVID-19 pandemic has had a great impact on the demand for spices of global consumers. Most of them choose spices as a certain item to provide immunity. That has made the import value of these spices in 2020 increase significantly. India's total spice export scale landmark level of $4 billion. India is the world's largest producer, consumer, and exporter of spices. According to the Spice Board of India, the country's total share of spice export raised the landmark level of $4 billion in value realization during the period 2020 to 2020. The second part concerning Vietnamese spices and seasoning market. Vietnam has an important source of spices and flavorings for the world market. Vietnam has a very different biodiversity to create agricultural products, including spices and flavorings. The quality is very unique, different from similar products in the world. The main export spices of Vietnam are pepper, cinnamon, anise, with a large export volume in recent years. However, Vietnam's paper exports are still stable. Even paper export prices in August 2021 have reached the highest level since 2018 until now. Vietnamese paper market in the first 8 months of 2021. The complicated development of the COVID-19 pandemic worldwide has greatly affected many manufacturing industries. Vietnam continues to hold its position as the largest paper exporter to Turkey. Turkey increased paper imports to meet consumer demand in the domestic market. This is a great opportunity for Vietnam to boost paper export to this market. Accordingly, a part of Vietnam's paper exported to Turkey will follow the route of temporary import for re-export to some other countries such as Europe and some other neighboring countries. Global seasoning and spices market. The COVID-19 pandemic had significantly impacted almost all industries across the globe. It has resulted in mass production shutdowns and supply chain disruptions, which has also affected the economy as well. Besides, the worldwide lockdown has affected farming practices, which has highly impacted the supply of raw materials of spices and seasonings. However, the demand for spices has been increasing highly by global consumers, that has boosted export value for major producing countries, including India. The global seasoning and spices market is projected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 4.7% during the period 2020 to 2025. According to research by Model Intelligence, the global spices and seasoning market is expected to grow from 21.3 billion USD in 2020 to 27.4 billion USD by 2025 at a compound annual growth rate of 4.7% from the 2021 to 2025. Spices and herbs are more aligned toward health and wellness. Along with it, the retail food products manufacturers have also further increased the application of spices and seasonings so as to fit the taste and preference of the various ethnicities of consumers across the globe, therefore driving the market forward. Products such as ginger, dry capsicum, pimento, uncrushed pepper, cucumber, cinnamon, and cloves have the most potential for growth in the market. The nutritional benefits of various spices have helped in the growth of the market. The changes in the food habits and consumers looking for new mouthfeels, especially an inclination towards Asian cuisine, which includes more spices in the diet, has also fueled the market. Adulteration of the spices and seasonings is an important factor that is hindering the growth of the market. Europe is the largest market, followed by North America. Asia Pacific is the fastest growing market in the global spices and seasonings market, with a 46.6% market share, in which China is the largest market in the region, followed by Indian market. The climatic conditions of the region are favorable for the growth of various spices and seasonings. Thus, the Asia Pacific produces the best quality of spices, which brings the major players to the region. Most of the nations in Asia Pacific use locally produced spices and seasonings. Moreover, an increasing demand is found in the organic spices and seasoning segment. Additionally, a significant percentage of spices from the region are exported to Europe and North America. Impact of COVID-19 on the global seasoning and spices consumption market. The COVID-19 pandemic has had a great impact on the demand for spices and global consumers. Most of them choose spices as a certain item to provide immunity. That has made the import value of these spices in 2020 increase significantly. The market for spices and seasonings have witnessed a rapid uptick with the onset of the coronavirus crisis, wherein some other spices that are meant to provide immunity, such as turmeric, ginger, and garlic, has received tremendous response from consumers globally. The global COVID-19 pandemic motivated consumers to buy food and drinks that support their immune systems. Accordingly, the demand for spices has also increased by global consumers. Mental reports that the COVID-19 outbreak caused 45% of consumers in Europe to add more nutrients to their diet. Also, since the start of the pandemic, 29% reported being more interested in foods that support immune system. Import values of these spices significantly increased in 2020 compared to 2019. For example, the import value of ginger in the Netherlands, which is Europe's largest importer, was 125 million euros, higher in 2020 compared to 2019. India's total spice export scale landmark level of 4 billion USD. India is the world's largest producer, consumer, and exporter of spices. According to the Spice Board of India, the country's total share of spice export raised the landmark level of 4 billion USD in value realization during the period 2020 to 2021. India's total spice export with a volume of 11.5 58 million tons, valued at 4.178 million USD during the period 2020 to 2021. Scaled the landmark level of 4 billion USD in value realization, besides recording a growth rate of 37% in volume, 16% in rupee terms, and 11% in dollar terms, in spite of the global pandemic situation. India produces about 75 of 109 varieties of spices listed by the International Organization of Standardization and accounts for half of the global trading in spices. Among whole spices, India primarily exports pepper, chili, turmeric, ginger, cardamom, coriander, cumin. The US is a major export destination for India, followed by China, Vietnam, the UAE, and Malaysia. To achieve that, the Spice Board of India has sought to elevate the India's share of spices and product export by focusing on buyer-selling meats and other market linkage programs through virtual platforms. The board has been organizing a series of virtual buyer-seller meets to make sure that there is no hindrance or gap in the sourcing and supplying of spices from the country. It has been aggressively taking a lead in strengthening and promoting the Indian international spice trade for the larger benefits of the spice community, so more during the pandemic time. Vietnam spices market. The production and export of spices and flavorings in general are of great significance to Vietnam's economy and export trends. Agriculture industry for the production of spices and flavorings of Vietnam are undergoing an impressive transformation, making Vietnam an important source of spices and flavorings of the world market. Among the spices of Vietnam, pepper is very famous in the world market and accounts for the highest proportion of export turnover. Vietnam has an important source of spices and flavorings for the world market. With geographical advantages stretching over many different climates and soils, Vietnam has very different biodiversity to create agricultural products including spices and flavorings. The quality is very unique, different from similar products in the world. The main export prices of Vietnam are pepper, cinnamon, spices, with a large export volume in recent years. Currently, Vietnam is maintaining a pepper area of 130,000 hectares with an output of 180,000 tons per year. The export volume of paper currently covers 60% of the world paper exports. Along with the quantity, the quality of Vietnam's paper has also been improved, and the products are quite rich in black paper, green paper, white paper, and powder paper. Many markets around the world are tending to use imported spices, including Vietnam spices. Also, the COVID-19 pandemic has greatly affected the export of all industry. Paper exports are still quite stable in both output and price. In 2020, Vietnam's paper export reached 185,000 tons. The price increased gradually. Vietnam ranks third in the world in terms of cinnamon production. The value of export of commodity group cinnamon and cinnamon tree flowers from Vietnam total 338 million USD in 2020. With spices, Vietnam is currently ranked second in top exporter in the world with export value reaching 40.64 million USD, accounting for 14.9% market share in 2020, in which the leading export volume of spices in 2020 is from Vietnam to India, with an export value of 32.73 million USD. Vietnamese exporter of spices and flavorings are increasingly meeting strict requirements and also able to supply products with high added value, good quality and safety for consumers, leading importers and premium distribution channels in many regions of the world. After controlling the COVID-19 situation, localities and businesses need to have a plan to restore production, apply advanced technologies for processing and develop a variety of products. Moreover, it is necessary to take advantage of incentives from the new generation of free trade agreements that Vietnam has recently joined to promote exports. Vietnamese paper market in the first 8 months of 2021. The complicated development of the COVID-19 pandemic worldwide has greatly affected many manufacturing industries. However, Vietnam's paper export is still stable. Even paper export prices in August 2021 have reached the highest level since 2018 until now. According to data from the Agency of Foreign Trade Ministry of Industry and Trade, the impact of the fourth COVID-19 pandemic caused paper export to drop sharply in August 2021. However, the average export price of Vietnam's paper in August 2021 reached to $3,736 per ton. This is the highest price of export paper since January 2018. This price has increased by 3.4% compared to July 2021 and sharply increased by 49.4% compared to August last year. Generally, in the first 8 months of 2021, the average export price of Vietnam's paper reached $3,321 per ton, up 51.1% over the same period in 2020. The sharp increase in export prices of paper has contributed greatly to the overall growth of the whole Vietnamese paper industry. This is considered a very positive signal in the context of the decrease in export prices of many other agricultural products. Notably, Vietnam's paper export to most of the main markets increased, except China and Egypt. Vietnam paper export in the first 7 months of this year to the United Arab Emirates increased by 74.6% in volume and 185% in value, reaching 11,630 tons, worth $39.81 million. Vietnam continues to hold its position as the largest paper exporter to Turkey. Turkey increased paper imports to meet consumer demand in the domestic market. This is a great opportunity for Vietnam to boost paper export to this market. Accordingly, a part of Vietnam's paper exported to Turkey will follow the route of temporary import or re-export to some other countries such as Europe and other neighboring countries. Turkey's paper imports in the first months of this year increased sharply. According to data released by Turkish Statistical Institute, in the first 6 months of 2021, Turkey imported a total 3,764.1 tons of black paper with more than $7.21 million, up 9.4% in volume and 30.6% in value, in which the largest proportion of Vietnamese paper. Turkey increased black paper imports to meet consumer demand in the domestic market. In Turkey, paper is not simply a spice, creating a spice taste that is extremely rich with a variety of red paper, white paper, and black paper. The demand for paper from Turkish people is very diverse, so the market is very active. This shows that the trend of increasing paper imports into Turkish market continues during this period. Vietnam continues to hold the position of the country with the largest export volume to this item to Turkey, with 2,236.3 tons with a turnover of more than $4.32 million USD, increased sharply in both volume and value, 25.6% in volume and 37.1% in value, accounting for nearly 60% of the market share of export value to Turkey in the first 6 months of 2021. For paper products, a part of Vietnamese paper exported to Turkey will follow the route of tamarind import for re-export to some other countries such as Europe and some other neighboring countries. Therefore, the Vietnam Trade Office in Turkey recommends that Vietnam should continue to encourage the domestic enterprises to participate in global trade promotion programs, visit and exhibit at major food industry fairs in Turkey such as World Food, Istanbul, Sira Istanbul, to exchange and seek cooperation opportunities with Turkish processing and distribution enterprises. Therefore, the business can make a difference, stand out in quality compared to other products, and have the opportunity to put them on sale in the large distribution system of this potential market. That is it for Vihaba News here on Vihaba channel. Do stay with us because we will have many upcoming weekly news on the agricultural sector. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to find more news. Thank you for watching Vihaba News. See you soon. Bye.